Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Darlington Nkwazi. In this video, I'm going to show you how to work with QLabel. QLabel is a widget that allows us to display texts and images. I'm going to show you how to work with it in this video. Okay, so I already have a boilerplate code here, and what it does basically is create a window. So if I go to my terminal and say Python main.py and hit enter, you can see the window. All right, so what we're going to do now is create a label, and to do that we'll just come here and say self.label is equal to q2widgets dot qlabel. I'm going to give it two arguments. The first argument will be the text that I want to be displayed. Okay, so I'll say this should be hello world. The second argument will be the parent. All right, so this should be self. Now if I save it and run it, you can see the label here. Okay, so that's how to create a label. Now let's see what we can do with this label. We could give it an object name, so we could say self.label dot set object name, and we could say this should be label. Okay, so if we print this, save it and run it, you can see the object name here at the bottom of my screen. All right, so I'm going to cancel this. Let's see what else we could do. We could set the geometry, so we could say self.label dot set geometry, and we could say that this should be 200, 100, 300, and 200. Okay, this specify the position, while this specify the size. All right, so this is basically saying 200 pixels from the left. This is saying 100 pixels from the top. This is saying that it should have a width of 300 pixels, and this is saying that it should have a height of 200 pixels. All right, and these are all device independent pixels. Okay, just as this and this. Okay, um, so if I save this now and run it, you can see it's now here. The position has changed. Okay, from this corner here to this place, which is kind of close to the center. All right, so I'm going to cancel this. There's another way to write this, so I'm going to copy this and I'll comment it out and paste it here. Okay, but this time we'll say this should be qscore.qrect. All right, and every other thing remains the same. Okay, so this is still 200 pixels from the left. This is still 400 pixels from the top. This is still a width of 300 pixels, while this is still a height of 200 pixels. Okay, so if I save it again and run it, you can see it still works. All right, so I'm going to cancel this. Let's restore this because this one is kind of longer. Okay, so I'll comment it out and keep this. So what we're going to do now is give this label a background color and a color. So we'll say self.label dot set style sheet, and we'll say that it should have a background color of light blue and a color of green. Okay, now if I save it and run it, you can see it now has a background color of light blue and a color of green. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this. Let's see what else we could do. We could set the visibility of the label. So we could say self.label dot set visible. So we'll say this should be true. Okay, well, it's already visible. So if I save it and run it, you can see the label. But if I change this to false, save it and run it, you can no longer see the label. Okay, so let me change it back to true. All right, we could also set the alignment. So we could say self.label dot set alignment, and we could say this should be cute core dot cute dot align center. Okay, now if I save it and run it, it's now at the center. All right, we could change this to top, save it and run it, and now it's at the top. Okay, we could change this to bottom also, and it will still work. It's now at the bottom. All right, there are several options. Okay, just check the documentation, but I'm going to change this back to center. All right, so if we save it and run it again, you can see it's now at the center, just as before. So I'm going to cancel this. We could also set the frame shape. So we could say self.label dot set frame shape, and we could say this should be cute widgets dot qframe dot shape dot panel. Okay, now if I save it and run it, you can see the frame shape. We could also give this a frame shadow, so we could say self.label dot set frame shadow, and I'll say this should be cute widgets dot qframe dot shadow, and we could say that this should be sunken. So if I save it and run it, you can see it appears sunken. All right, we could also change this to raise, So if I save it and run it, you can see it appears raised. All right. Um, Again, there are several options for this. Okay, just check the documentation. So let's see what else we could do. We could give this a font. So we could say font is equal to um, cute GUI dot q font, and we could say we could set the point size of the font. So we could say font dot set point size. Okay, and we could say that this should be 36, right? And we could come down here and say self.label dot set font, and we could say font. Um, that's this font here. So if we save it and run it, you can see the point size has increased. All right. Um, let's see what else we could do. This takes an integer. Okay. If we wanted a float, we could comment this out and say font dot set point size f, and we could say that this should be 36.5. All right. If I save it and run it, you can see the result. All right. So let's continue. We could make this bold, so we could say font dot set bold, and we could say this should be true. All right. If I save it and run it again, you can see it's now bold. We could make it italic, so we could say font dot set italic, and we could say this should be true. If we save it and run it, you can see it's now italicized, or italic if you like. We could also underline it, so we could say font dot set underline, and we'll say this should be true. If we save it and run it, you can see it's now underlined. We could also set the overline, so we could say font dot set overline, and we could say that this should be true. If we save it and run it, you can see the overline. All right. Instead of font dot set bold, we could comment this out and say font dot set weight. All right. And we'll say cute GUI dot q font dot weight dot bold. All right. And if we save it and run it, you can see it's still bold. All right. So this is another way to do it. This method is actually flexible because I could come here and say this should be demi bold. All right. And if I save it and run it, you can see it's lighter. Okay. I could even make this light, save it and run it. You can see it's now light. Okay. Um, there are several options. All right. Just check the documentation and play with it. So let's see what else we could do. We could set the word wrap. So we could say self.label dot set word wrap. Okay, and we could say that this should be true. If I save it and run it, you can't see the effects yet, all right? But if I go up and add more text, let's make this hello world, how are you? Save it and run it. You can see that it has wrapped the text. Let's just be sure that it works. So if I change this to false, save it and run it, you can't see much of the text. Okay, so let's change this back to true. So so what we're going to do now is try to display an image. For QLabel, you can only display one content at a time. All right, so if I try to display an image, the existing text will be removed. All right, so let me show you. So to display an image, we'll just say self dot label dot set pixmap, and we'll say Qt GUI dot qpixmap, and we'll add the image path. This is the image that we're going to use, this image here. All right, so I'll just add the path. Okay, so if I save it and run it, you can see the image. Okay, um let's cancel it. So what we're going to do now is try to make the image fit into that area. Okay, the label area. To do that, I'll just say self.label.set scaled contents, and I'll say this should be true. Okay, now if I save it and run it, you can see the image clearly now. It now fits into this area. All right. Um, I think we can stop here. All right, so that's basically how it works. If you enjoyed watching this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks and see you next time.